Another thing that we commonly see with people who are used to using kinesiology tapes is starting in the middle and going down one side and then the other side. Now in this case, if we're trying to do a cervical offload here, where we're basically going to run from an acromion or even on the deltoids over that cervicothoracic junction to the other side. So when the shoulders drop down, the tape is going to be lengthening and giving a force vector back up to carry the weight of the shoulder girdle. Some of the preliminary research on this has shown that we get a reduction in that overactivity of some of those cervical extensors. Now, if I start in the middle and go down to one side and then the other side, again, in terms of keeping uniform tension, that's wholly reliant on my ability to create the same tension and have exactly the same position on either side so that we're getting a symmetrical force. Okay, very, very difficult to do. If, however, I start on one side, I take up the slack and then I stick it down, okay, the real tension comes in when the shoulders drop back down, and that way we get uniform force being created along the whole length of tape. It also means that we're able to maintain our position very, very easily. Now also, if we start in the middle and come down, what we're really doing is getting a force more or less back to that cervicothoracic junction from either side. Whereas when we come over the top, we're trying to basically hold the two shoulders together, if you like. So we get much more of a lifting effect rather than a force coming back in on either side to this cervicothoracic junction. So again, we should get a better lifting effect out of it. So to do this one, we would be starting not in the middle, as you might with kinesiology type taping techniques, but starting on one side. Once again, hold your backing paper back between the fingers and thumb so you get that syringe type effect, and that way you can pretty easily just peel your backing sheet off, hold that in that position, get your pressure on your anchor point again. Okay, with this one you can actually just essentially, keeping your line pull over the top, stick that down. Okay, now that it's stuck down a bit, I can actually, in this case, use my thumb to come in and smooth down, and then my other anchor at this end without any tension once again. When they drop down, that takes the force and gives me this lifting effect back up to carry some weight of the shoulder girdle. So again, don't start in the middle and come down one side and then the other side. Think of that whole movement, and again, think about creating uniform tension, because there is considerably more force and tension going through this. We want that uniform tension across the whole piece of tape to distribute the force more evenly, to reduce the risk of reactions, as well as to give us a better effect on the mechanics.